Big Cal, and welcome to my world. It is the end of the month, which only means one thing: DIY gaming box time. So, in case you don't know what this is, at the end of each of these videos every month, I spin this lovely little roulette wheel. Whatever number it lands on correlates with a games console or a theme. And then for the next month, I have to collect for that console or theme with a budget of £25, trying to find a nice balance of quality and quantity. So last month, spun the wheel, it landed on the Nintendo 64. A console that I own the majority of must-have games for already. And half of my want list for that system cannot be obtained within the £25 budget. So, as I mentioned last month's video, there's a good chance there's going to be some Turok games within this box, as I actually only own, I think, Turok 2 for some reason. Do want to pick up the others. Small spoiler, there are no Turok games in this. Yay! So let's open it up and see what there is inside the box. Right then. Firstly, we have a £5 game, and that is Star Wars Rogue Squadron. This series is probably better well known for the GameCube titles, which are really good, especially the first one on the GameCube, Rogue Squadron 2. That was, I think, a launch title. That was fantastic. Yeah, but here we have the original, which I've never played before on the N64. And it's okay. Yeah, it's a little bit wonky with the controls. I need more time to get used to them. Plus, if you just go and start a game, there's no tutorial. You're just thrown into it and you just press buttons to try and find out what they do, obviously. You know, they probably expect you to have the instructions manual, which I don't have because it's cartridge only that I bought, so I'd probably have to look online and read what the, what the buttons actually do. Plus, what was I going to say? I can't remember. Yeah, anyway, yeah, it takes a little bit to get used to the controls and things. But it seems fun enough. It's just one of those games I would need to play a little bit more and get used to what you're actually doing and know what all of the buttons actually do. So yeah, it's nice to own it finally. I own most of the other Star Wars games on the system, if not all of them now. I know there weren't that many, there were maybe 4 or something. Yeah, so Rogue Squadron, £5. And I almost didn't get this game. I thought, because £5 won an eBay auction for that price. Lots of buy it nows were usually about £7 or something. So I wasn't sure at the time if I was going to be able to get it because I'd already bought the rest of the DIY gaming box games and I didn't have enough budget left over to increase the price of this to £7. Why was I almost not going to get it? Well, I had it on eBay, got shipped. Royal Mail, of all people, screwed up the delivery. And I know lots of people with couriers especially, like Everett over here is one that people hate. UPS in America, lots of people hate because they just don't give a shit what they do with your packages. Royal Mail usually don't have an issue with them. This time though, I got up one day, had a message on my phone, oh, your order has been delivered. Okay, so I went to check the letterbox. Nope, nothing had come through it. Okay, weird. Maybe they left it outside. Sometimes they do. Don't know why, because it would quite easily fit through the letterbox. Fucking cartridge-only N64 game in a small package. Nope, nothing there. Nothing in any of the recycling bins. Sometimes they put them in there. Nothing. So I had a look on the website when I went to track my order, and there was a picture showing proof of delivery, which was just the mailman holding the parcel. You could not see where he was or where he was putting it. Just a picture of the parcel. Yeah. So I couldn't do anything about it. I had to get in touch with the seller, who would then have to get in touch with Royal Mail to see what the hell was going on. About 4 or 5 days later, knock at the door. It's a neighbour from about 5 houses down, who was putting some cardboard into the cardboard recycling bin and noticed there was a package inside. My package. Royal Mail delivered it A, to the wrong address, and B, despite not needing a signature or being very easily able to go through a letterbox, just left it in a bin. Yeah, so luckily the neighbour found it. Otherwise, I wouldn't have thought to go looking around the neighbour's bloody bins for it. So it finally arrived, and I got it, and didn't have to try and order a different game for the same price or anything. Yeah, so it's been a hell of a journey to get it, and it's only okay. Right, next and last, an £18.99 game, bringing up to a total of £23.99 with £1 and a penny left over. And this one is Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2. And unfortunately here in the UK, like PAL cartridges very rarely got coloured cartridges. They're only a handful, barely even that, I don't think, yeah. So I think this one's yellow in North America, with the NTSC version. Yeah, but we just got the boring old grey cartridge. And it's Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2 but on the N64. So it is missing basically all of the video content. So when you load up the game, you get the intro video on the PS1 or the Dreamcast or whatever, and you get proper video footage of all the skaters. Here we just get in-game footage. Yeah, it doesn't look particularly great. But other than that, once you get into the game, it just, sounds mostly the same. I think there might be some tracks missing from this version, I'm not sure. But it plays basically the same. It's just a little bit difficult to get used to on an N64 controller with how the button layout is. Yeah, so I've only had a quick play on it. It was fun enough, it just took me like a minute of the 2-minute session to really get used to what buttons did what. Yeah, because you got the A and B button. A, you obviously hold down to let go and jump. B would be to do your grab moves. Not the grab moves, the flip moves, the kick flip and all that. While the C buttons were the grab moves. Grab moves. Yeah, and then you still had L and R to turn faster and things. And yeah, obviously the grind button was the top C button. So a little bit getting used to there with the controls again. But it's Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2. You can't really go wrong with any version except probably the Game Boy Color version. Even the Game Boy Advance version's really good. Yeah, and I think this even has an extra level not in any of the other versions. So that was kind of the main reason I wanted it. I wanted a variant of it with exclusive content, as I already own it on the PS1 and the Game Boy Advance and the Dreamcast. And I think I even own the Game Boy Color version as well. Can't quite remember. Yeah, so Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2. Fantastic game. Almost everywhere that you can play it, it's really fun. Even if the controls are a little bit iffy at first on the N64 due to the layout of the controller. Right, so those are the two games I got this month. Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2 and Star Wars Rogue Squadron. I'm happy enough with those. So, now to spin the wheel and find out what I have to collect for in the month of December of 2023. So I'll just move these over there, bring this round over here, and yep, here we go. Bring out my old handy cam, and we'll get ready to record with this. Spin and we go. What's it going to land on? Okay, number 12, and that is the Sega Master System. Excellent. Right, yeah, the Master System. Didn't grow up with one. I was always a Nintendo fan. I always had Nintendo consoles growing up. Didn't really know of the Sega systems that much other than the Mega Drive, because a few of my friends had that. The Master Systems, I don't even actually own the console. I just own one of those cartridges that lets you play the games on the Mega Drive, and I even own one that lets you play them on the Game Gear. It's not an official one, so it's not the one that you can use the card games as well with. So just cartridges. Yeah, but it's a system I've only been collecting for maybe not even 2 years now. So I've built up an okay collection so far. Got maybe 15 games for it or so. And there's a bunch that I would really like to collect. And they are still really, really cheap over here. There are very few expensive Master System games. Even complete in box, you can get most of them for under £20 easily. So if you go cartridge only, you can get multiple for under £20. So very excited for this one. It is a system that I'm always looking for new titles to delve into because it's just not something I played back in the day, and it's not a system that's ever really had much attention, even from Sega. We've had 2 mini Mega Drives, we've had the 4 really bad micro Game Gears that were only released in Japan with 4 games each on. There's always your Mega Drive collections being released. There's even been small Dreamcast collections with like 4 games. Some Saturn games have been ported over and things like that. But Master System just gets completely forgotten because it wasn't that big really in North America. It was only really big in parts of Europe and possibly Japan. I'm not too sure how well it actually did in Japan. I think it did much better in Japan than most places, but yeah. So, the Master System, looking forward to that. So, I'm Big Cal, thanks for watching. Let me know down in the comments below what is on my pickups for the N64 this month, and let me know if there's anything in particular I should look out for on the Master System next month, and I'll see you again next time.